And stock top comments of the week. All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I'm Onebar with Lupagus. We're looking at the top comments of the week. As always, we love every single one, even if you're not nice to us.
Yeah, and some of them aren't, but we still love it anyway. We love to engage with you guys. And if you want to engage with us, be a subscriber to the channel, like and comment, and you could be on this video next week.
Wow, what an honor. What an honor. All right, let's just get right into it. Let's go. MN, Hall of Fame, 5 FV.
Could be a disease too.
It could be. I probably have it. Kirk Cousins is undisputed GOAT contract negotiator. People that think there's going to be a hometown discount need to set their beer down and sober up. Yeah, right.
Wow.
People that think he'll come back to the Vikings just because his best chance to win a ring. Crack is not the answer. Walk away. Somebody, maybe Atlanta, will offer him 3 years, $120 million, fully guaranteed. If you want him back, that is the start.
Yeah, that was from the Cousins Belichick video. Also, kind of an anti-substance message in there as well.
What?
Don't set the beer down. Crack is not the answer.
Right. You're right. Nice did you know moment.
A lot to unpack here. Yeah, I mean, Kirk is a good negotiator. He's made a shit ton of money in the league so far, and this could be a tactic. But I don't know. I mean, if the contract is anywhere near $3 million, 3 years, $120 million, I'm walking away.
Yeah, I think everybody is. So, I mean, our big thing is if he wants to come back at like 30 million, maybe a little bit more, I think it's a fair discussion. But when you get to 40 million a year, even that still doesn't put him like, I mean, he's still not the highest paid quarterback. He's not in the conversation. But yeah, I think I don't disagree with this at all. I don't need to put my beer down.
Do you think this is all him, like negotiating, like just him a shrewd businessman?
It's every player does this. If you're not doing it, you're a moron. When you're at the point where you can make an extra $10 million a year or $5 million, you can't fault a player for doing what he's doing if that's his tactic. And it probably is. He's a smart guy. This is his last big contract. Why wouldn't you? People say he's greedy or whatever. Give me a break. He's in the middle of the road as far as highest paid quarterbacks. He's smart.
He's there to make money. It's his job. It's his livelihood.
Somebody's going to pay him. Might not be us, and it sure the hell won't be us at that price tag. We got another book here.
Wow.
Jason Davis. I'll try to sum this up quick. Seems like fans' biggest need is a quarterback. If you're at 11 and Devondre Swift is there, do you take him instead? If we were signing Kirk 2 more years, I think it would be smart. We need a run stuffer. There are no tackles in the league built like that anymore. He's ginormous, 6'3", 362. So basically, get Sweat at 11 if he's there. We need a run stuffer, says Jason.
Yeah, and I think, everybody wants a quarterback at 11, but the fact is there might not be one there, so start thinking for a different position, and D-tackle does make sense. We saw Daniel Jeremiah's his first mock. He had Byron Murphy going to Vikings at 11, a teammate of Sweat there. So, yeah, I mean, it's a need. It's a huge need. And if we're not going to, I don't know, is the value there at 11? I don't know. At this point, it's hard to know for sure, but it's a huge need for the Vikings. And I think if they're not going to go with a quarterback, and if they can't get up to get a quarterback, then, yeah, you build that D-line up.
Yeah, I think we agree with both comments so far. Sweat, I mean, the big thing was Sweat, a nose tackle at 11. That's a little rich for me. You better be trading your ass back. And I think you could probably get him in round 2. But he's a guy that makes everybody around him better. He's not going to light up the stat sheet. He's not going to go out there and get you 7 sacks a year, but Ivan Pace might get a couple more because of him and the guys on the sides of him. That's what Sweat is. I mean, at 11, it's a little rich.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, values, where we're going to actually place these guys, there's a whole, 3 months to figure that all out. So it's pretty early to say if it's too early or not. But
it's too early.
Yeah, it's definitely a need for the Vikings.
Absolutely. I can't wait for some defensive line. And I rarely say that when it comes to the NFL draft. The old Newt. The old Newtski. The old Nooteruski. Neutered. As a long-time film study, our scouts do not understand interior offensive line and quarterback. Since we kept Rick Scout, it's still an issue. My bad. We also hired Gregson, the worst Colts GM in history. Wow.
What do you think? Do you think there's something to this, that these scouts just, I know that been here now for 10 years, just suck at evaluating interior line?
I think interior offensive line is the toughest thing to scout coming out of college. They're notorious for busting. Always. I mean, look at some of these guys that we were high on. Zion Johnson, Kenyon Green, Cole Strange. They're all busting and busting hard. It's like offensive lineman, interior guys. It's not just a Vikings thing.
Especially the high picks. The high picks seem like they have a higher failure rate. Go back farther. Pork chop Womack sucked. We wanted Wyatt Davis. He was horrible. Yeah, I mean, what is it? Are these guys coming from a scheme and then these NFL teams are trying to make them do something else? Like going to a zone scheme. They're not good at that. Who knows what the reason is? But yeah, it is interesting though that we had issues with it during Spielman's regime. Still having it. Is it because the same scouts? I don't know. I don't know if it is or not, but it's very curious, and I kind of like that parallel that he brought up there.
Yeah, no, it's a fair argument. I think that's why you see a lot of these interior offensive linemen in like rounds 3 and 4 and 5 that all of a sudden are just fantastic, and they're some of the best in the league. It's a crapshoot. It's a poop shoot.
The old poop shoot.
The old Duperton. Robbie, very familiar in the comments. Powell is not a wide receiver 3. He's a gadget wide receiver 4. The draft is loaded with tall, fast receivers on day 1 and 2, exactly the gap in the Vikings receiving core. It's one of the most expensive positions to replace in free agency, and the Vikings will likely be with OTJ. Don't be surprised if wide receivers a lot higher and some splash signings on D-line. Oof.
Yeah, Robbie's a lot of good comments in there. I almost picked like 10 of his. But interesting here. So that's fine. But everything he's saying about rookie receiver makes sense. They're probably going to take one at some point. But I'd rather have Brandon Powell on this team as a potential wide receiver 3. Maybe if you get one late and the guy's taking a while to develop. I like the insurance of having Powell here. So I think he can be a wide receiver 3. Why can't he be?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be $1.5 million, and if he's wide receiver 4, who cares? I mean, if we bring somebody in, they beat him out. Thing is, with the gadget, I mean, Powell is a gadget wide receiver, but we didn't really use him that way.
He had a couple.
Not like we did anything
carries.
overly crazy. Yeah, but I mean, I think gadget receiver. I think a couple plays, at least a game where you're doing something goofy, and he was very reliable as a receiver.
Yeah, not so much good as a tush pusher, but hell of a receiver.
I like it. I want him back. I want him back more than anything. Vikings fan, Davey, freaking chains. Yeah. I have no love lost for Harrison Smith. He's highly overrated as far as I'm concerned. So he got some well undeserved coin. Most of these cats haven't lived up to their paycheck. The more coin we acquired by cutting these guys, the more coin Robbie has to play with.
He said coin so much he just confused you.
I know. I was really
so I'm curious.
Hey, hold on, Davey. Yeah. Get to your room. We do not speak poorly of Harrison Smith.
But is he talking like as a whole, like his whole career he's overrated, or is he just
I
talking
think he's
this year?
Last contract, probably his last contract. I mean,
if he's talking this year, I think you could say he was overrated this year because he didn't have a great season. But as his full, your career with the Vikings, hell no, he's not overrated.
No, I think this was just weird. I mean, when it came to Zimmer, I mean, he loves some of these guys. That contract they give him was crazy. The fact that he's set to make almost $20 million, which he's not gonna, we're gonna do something about that this year, is insane for the age he is. He could have probably had a fantastic year and was probably overpaid. So Harrison Smith, yeah, coin. No
love,
a lot of coin.
I need David to clarify this. I'm curious if he just hates Harrison Smith.
I
wouldn't think so.
He's highly overrated as far as I'm concerned. I don't know.
I'm kind of surprised.
Davey.
I know. I was surprised that this came from him. I did do a double pick.
As his career as a whole, I don't think he was overrated at all. He just was getting old and had not a great year. And that's why they're going to move on from him.
Absolutely.
All right, you read this one.
Ellis Gregor, 2645. Hope the word coin's not in here. I would rather pay to have a known commodity stay with the team than take a chance on another receiver. Even in 2020, the Vikings were an Eagle front office whim of taking Jalen Reagor instead of JJ. The draft has too many unknowns variable when you have a known commodity. Keep JJ. I think this has to do with the Justin Jefferson trade video we did.
Yeah, everybody pretty much wants to keep Justin Jefferson. I mean, there was a few sprinkled in there, like get rid of him, move on, not worth it. But the majority wanted to keep Jefferson. Ellis Gregor's right. Just like interior offensive lineman, it's a crapshoot when you take wide receivers. We have a known commodity. He said it all.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine?
He's going to cost
Justin Jefferson using a high pick and get like a Roman Dunze and he sucks, just busts. I mean, could you imagine going through that again, like we did with Moss to Williamson? Ugh.
Well, the thing is, if we were to trade Jefferson, we're just going to use another early pick on a receiver. Like, how does that help our team aside from the cap situation? I mean, you're wasting. You could go defensive line, you could go anywhere defense, and all of a sudden wide receivers in need because we have Jordan Addison and Brandon Powell, who I love.
But it's not even fair to the guy you bring in. It wasn't fair to Williamson to come in here and be the next Randy Moss. Expectations are through the roof. Could you imagine putting a young kid through that again? We need you to be the next Justin Jefferson. I mean, that's huge pressure. That's insane. It's not fair to the player you bring in too if he did do that.
No. So good comments. As always, keep those things coming hot and heavy. We'll be doing this every week throughout the off season.
Yeah. Thank you for the comments, and you're going to thank me for this. It's estimated, it's not known for sure, but it's estimated that the penis of a Tyrannosaurus Rex was anywhere between 10 inches and 12 feet long.
Oh, that's right.